Hi and welcome back to another FMB Radio Live Q&A. Today we are once again joined by Tatiana from Tapping Into Your Greatness and Fairy Queen Talks. And as always, I want to start these interviews with giving you a little bit of background to FMB. So FMB Radio is an online community radio station based in Nottingham that amplifies authentic community voices by enabling individuals and organisations to tell their stories in their own way using their genuine voices. So as I mentioned today, we are again joined by Tatiana, and as always we have questions I've prepared, questions for my Instagram story, and then any questions that you guys ask throughout. So normally our aim of this show is to find out a little bit more about Tatiana and her fantastic shows, but as we've already done an interview with you, today we're going to be focusing more on mental health and the importance of mental health, and also the upcoming Fashion Finest show that you will be attending this weekend.
Yeah.
So if anyone watching has any questions, feel free to post them in the chat box below or submit them through the question box. So to start with, we are going to have a few questions about your show, just so everyone can know them.
Yeah.
So who has your favourite guest to have on Tapping Into Your Greatness? Who has it been?
It's a really hard one to answer because I love all of my guests because they were so brave to join the new show. But I would say my reason for picking this person is because at this moment, this is how I need to be. And so it's Aisha. She is a business owner, but she's got a family. So she's a mother, she's a wife. And when she was telling her story about how she, grew into her entrepreneurship, I just relate to that, because that's the type of woman I want to be, but I also want to be there for my children. So she was my favorite one simply because that's the person who I need to be. And it was just a really good reminder when I was speaking to her. But that is already on YouTube, so you can watch that conversation. But she was definitely my favorite guest, just to remind me of where I needed to be.
Yeah. And you say that your show is about, as you say, you get your guests on to try and show them how they tap into their greatness. So as you said, that entrepreneurial mother. So how do you feel that you tap into your own greatness on a daily basis?
Yeah, so I've realized doing things that I love and things that I feel happy about. So, for example, even the smallest thing is having a Nutella sandwich. Once I do that, I'm just so happy. And I work best, or I function best at my happiest. So even when I do my morning meditation, sometimes it may not be a calming story. Maybe my meditation is dancing it out on a music that I really like. So just anything that I do needs to be sourced within happiness, and that's how I tap into my greatness. It's because I am the greatest when I'm happiest.
I kind of mentioned at the start that you actually have two shows. You have Tapping Into Your Greatness, where you have guests on and you speak about what their greatness is. You also have Fairy Queen Talks, which is a podcast you do. And Tapping Into Your Greatness is a live show. So what is the difference, or how different is it for you to record a live show than it is to kind of pre-record Fairy Queen Talks?
Yes, a live show, the pressure is on. You can't just press stop and re-record it. So doing things live, there's a lot of pressure. You just have to be on point and just speak without having to look at your lines or things you prepared. You just have to be in the moment. But I think it forces you to really listen actively. And I think that's why doing it live is great, because you have to maximize the conversation within the hour that you have to speak with someone. So you tend to focus on what they're saying or what they're not saying, but they are saying, and you can kind of hone into that. Whereas if it was pre-recorded, you can kind of gear the conversation to what you want. But I think it's a more honest and a real authentic conversation when it's live.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree with that. It means you have to very much listen and kind of engage with the person. Yeah. So last time we did one of these interviews, I think 2 of Fairy Queen Talks had just come out, which now season 3 is all up on Spotify, so anyone who's listening can go and listen to all of them. So I want to know, what was your favourite episode of season 3 been?
My favorite episode, I think, is the most emotional one, is the episode where I ended Fairy Queen Talks. It's because when I look through the episodes, I kind of tell the story of where my mind was. And as much as I was people, I was speaking to myself. And the last episode kind of wraps everything up, that chapter of my life, the lockdown series, as I call it now. It was like the end of that chapter. And it's so beautiful when you can close a chapter, but you feel like you're doing that. And I was able to do that within my last episode. And anyone who hears it will hear my emotion when I speak about it. It's not that it's the end of me having podcasts, but it's just the end of that podcast in particular.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that must have been very emotional.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think I actually asked you this last time we did this, but I want to know if they've changed or if there's someone else who now, like, who or what are your biggest inspirations for your shows?
It still be the same one, Oprah and Michelle Obama. I finally bought Michelle Obama's book,
Okay.
and just reading every single page, it touches me because she's so eloquent in how she speaks, and you feel like you're speaking to her. So at the moment, I feel like I got Michelle Obama in my drawer, but Oprah definitely, and she's my top, inspiration still.
Yeah. So kind of linking to Michelle Obama, it puts a lot of importance on health, more going toward mental health. I kind of mentioned it at the start again, that you want to talk about some more about mental health breaks and the importance of mental health. So can you just kind of speak to what a mental health break actually is?
Yes, a mental health break, I would interpret it as coming home to yourself. And in this pandemic, we've all been home, isolated, kind of outside of the world. But I think because of the busyness of life, we forget who we are inside. When you go to speak to any therapist, you're always trying to learn who that inner child is. But I find in a mental health break is to really break yourself away from all the distractions in your life, even your loved ones, like your children, your husband, and really finding out who you are, almost like that movie Inside Out, and you have those little control panel. And a mental health break allows you to go to the panel and actually be like, okay, is everyone working okay? Where do we need to fix things? Is anger, still angry? So it's allowing you to fix yourself and coming home to yourself and connecting with your mind and your brain in a way that is not possible when you're full of distractions.
Yeah. Can you tell us why a mental health break is so important?
Yeah. A mental health break is so important because we carry so many hats. Like, for example, right now, your hat is with the FMB radio, but then you also have a hat as a friend, as a daughter, as a cousin. So you have so many things you need to be in this world, in this existence. And sometimes you just need me time, or a time for you to focus on yourself and know where are you at. Because even when you're talking with friends, there's dramas, there's so many things happening. But the most important thing we need to know what's happening is what's happening with our minds and where we're at. So, for example, when I snack loads, I know I'm stressed. I may not know why I'm stressed, but I know I'm stressed. So instead of just snacking and not really understanding why I'm stressed, having that break allows you to see, okay, what in my environment is making me feel this way, and that's why I'm doing X, Y, Z. So it's really allowing yourself to have that time to explore what are the things that are going wrong within you.
Yeah. So kind of, if someone is unable to take a mental health break, as in from work or school, because I think you've slowed down a bit with what you're doing work-wise. So is there any other way that you would suggest kind of going about this mental health break without being such a physical, I'm going to stop with work, like you said, like being with your loved ones and stuff? Is there anything that you could do kind of instead of that, like physical, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that?
Yes, definitely. I took a mental health break not because I wanted to. It wasn't like something I scheduled, but it's something I needed to do, and I had no other option. So if you don't look after yourself, your body will just tell you need a break. But what I've learned during this break is that, for example, at 6 a.m., my kids are asleep, my husband is asleep. That's the time I can do anything. And instead of like waking up slowly and be like, oh, I'm going to nap a bit more, snooze, I'm taking that hour and really taking ownership of that and saying, this is my hour to do whatever I want. So I do my meditation. So if you can't have me time the whole week, or you can't go on holiday, you can have like an hour or even 5 minutes to yourself. And I've used the Headspace app. I don't know if you've heard it. And they do really great like meditation videos that you can listen to. And that's really helped me. So you can have like either 5 minute video or a 10 minute video, and it just allows you to go into your mind. And so I would say that whatever hour that no one needs you, that you can have yourself, own that hour and just really take advantage of that time, because time is your best friend. So use it.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. I mean, that meditation must do kind of wonders for you at the start of the day before you then have to get going into life and work and family, and everything that goes on.
Definitely, definitely.
So now you've kind of told us how important mental health is. Something that you are doing right now is you are going to the Fashion Finest show this weekend. Very exciting.
Yeah.
So I don't know if many people know about it, but I was wondering if you could give some background and some information on the show.
Yeah, so it's the spring summer selection for 2022. So it's all the inspiration for next year. So I'll be going to speaking to the new designers. So the designers of Fashion Finance are all from diverse backgrounds. So it's like people that you wouldn't hear from the big show. So everyone knows like Alexander McQueen or Gucci, but no one knows the new and upcoming designers. And so I will have the chance to speak to them, and also the models who are trying to break into the industry, to see what inspires them to do so. So it's really a chance to hear the unknowns and really make them known, because there's so much talent in this world, but we're just not exposed to it. So it's like a niche. It's not a niche, but it's the people that we should be hearing about. Just a bit like FMB radio, just authentic voices. And so authentic artists, authentic like fashion designers that may not have the big limelight, but they should have the limelight, because we should be looking at them, because they are inspiring what we'll be looking like and dressing like the next year.
Yeah, I was going to say very similar to FMB of, you know, kind of giving that to someone who doesn't normally have a voice in the same, well, not in a radio or a fashion show kind of thing.
Yes, definitely.
So yeah, you'll be there for the weekend, and what content can we expect from you from the show and kind of after the show?
So I'm hoping to do a bit of a vlog style, so you can see my perspective of going to a fashion show, because I've never been to one in my life. So it's a very exciting thing. But really delving into the minds of these designers and what inspired them with to the clothing they've made, and also like who they are as a person. Because once you understand the person, you understand the designs. So hopefully you'll get a blitz of, or a glimpse of, tapping into your greatness within like 5 minutes, because I know they're really busy and doing their show. But hopefully I'll make those 5 minutes really special with all the different designers. So hopefully you will have an whole hour of content of really showing you who they are, what they stand for, and obviously the clothes, because we all want to see the clothes. And so have a vlog style, but only also get to know the artists behind the clothes.
That sounds great. Is there anything in particular you're looking forward to in the show, or is there something that, you know, you're really, really looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to the craziness, because whenever I watch like American Next Top Model, you see all the craziness backstage. But really seeing the artists, because it's their work that's coming to the forefront and on the catwalk, and seeing how they care about things. I look forward to seeing not just the clothing, but why they pick the particular colors, why they pick those designs, and what they're inspired by. So it's really like behind the scenes of everything, because the fashion show is like, let's say, an hour, but so much work and attention has been prepared to get there. A bit like, you know, you only watch like a 10-second race, but they trained for 4 years. So I really want to delve into what was the preparation to get to that moment, and hopefully I'll be able to record that.
Yeah, that sounds great. That is all the questions I have prepared for you. So I'm going to say, if who's listening wants to put any questions in, we can answer them. But then just if you have anything else you kind of want to talk about, obviously you've got two pretty big things right now you're kind of mental health and with the fashion show. Is anything else you want to speak to, or any, shows you want to promote or anything?
Well, what I can say is that currently I'm still on a break, but I'm working on lots of ideas. So lots of things will be coming. Probably not this year, but from next year. So just give myself a time, because before I would just have an idea, I just do it. But I'll be doing things more planned and a bit more organized. So not just very spontaneous, because when you do things too spontaneous, then you have no control, and that balance. So I would say to anyone, just be patient with me at this time. I am planning things. The Queendom is still building, and hopefully all of you can be part of that as well. And if you have a business, you have an entrepreneurial story, just come to me and I'll get you on the show, because I want to hear more voices. I've been seeing a couple of people who joined the call, and some are also very entrepreneurial, and I would love you to be on the show. So don't shy away from the camera. If you don't want to speak on like this a video call, we can just do a voice call, but love to promote whatever you're doing, because I think it's important for people to hear, because if you don't spread the word, no one will find out about you. So I'm here, so be my guest. That's my invitation.
Yeah. We've had one question come through, which is, what would you say is the most important thing to practice in order to benefit our mental health?
It's most important to practice self-love, because when you love yourself, you can love everything and everyone around you. And I think that's the most important thing. And like self-love is kind of preached out there, like love yourself. It's really embracing the past self, your mistakes, your successes, and really embracing that. And even though some things may have been like horrible experiences, to still see the good in them. So love yourself for who you are, for who you were, and who you're going to become. And as long as you love every part of you, even if they're bad, embrace it and learn from it, so that you can become that person that you've always wanted to. So practice self-love. That's what I would say.
That's great. I think that's a pretty good note to end on as well. So,
Mhm.
yeah, first off, I want to thank Tatiana for being here today and answering all the questions about your show, and also mental health, and about the fashion show this weekend. I mean, that is, exciting content for everyone to look forward to, but a very important issue of mental health addressed. And thank you for everyone who participated, those who submitted questions now and earlier. Thank you for listening, and tune in, or Tapping Into Your Greatness and Fairy Queen Talks are all on Spotify. So if you want to go and listen to them, you can. It's season 1 through 3 are on Spotify. And then, if you tune into FMB and Fairy Queen Talks over the next few days, you'll find out more about the fashion show.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Bye.